it. I find that
What are they supposed to
perplexing. Like,
believe in, though? What are people? I mean, for real, guys. Like, I understand why people are Christians. I understand why I was. My mom was 3 days a week. I understand that because if you want to go down the path of, yeah, there's a higher power, we don't really know much. People are trying to find a connection, like to know the creator. I'm not saying it's the right one to see. I'm not saying any of that. But my point is they do it for hope, for faith, for a better future. I do understand why people cling to this. Look at this world. When you see some sick, satanic shit, we would call it sick, sinister, nasty, right? Stuff that is not of you. You know you would never do these things and stuff. You separate from that. Um, some people see some dark, twisted things. You wouldn't witness some metaphysical things. I see when you start trying to find some answers. I don't
yeah,
blame
but
them.
Stacy,
Nobody, you
Stacy,
know.
look at the hypocrisy, right? Okay, look at the students, right? Look at what happened in Israel, right? The religious thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who was protesting? The students, right? Where are the Christians? Where's the uprising in the churches and the parishes? You see, that's what pisses me off, right?
I agree.
It's all
I,
talk
I,
and no freaking action.
it was the same thing during COVID. Some of the churches closed their doors. I was like, what?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could not believe they were saying people they're putting the masks on and we're doing the vaccines, especially stuff. I could not believe them. I was like, the church of all people should be standing up saying, God's protecting me. I don't need to worry like this. Honey, yeah, I don't know. But not all Christians agree, just like I don't agree with my politics here. I have nothing to do with what my country does and the games and the wars that they play. I want nothing to do with it, yet we are a part of it.
It's not that they don't agree. Of course, good Christian people don't agree, but
Yeah.
if they follow, this is where the usurping comes in, Stacy. If they follow
Mhm.
the book, a lot of them are welcoming this, Stacy. The end
Yeah.
times. You understand? This is the Jewish con put into the Bible. They're welcoming this. It's a total usurpness of your mind. If you're
I do
Christian and you're
understand what you're
welcoming
saying.
this, you're like you're almost with the devil on this one. Think about it. You want the destruction of a nation? That's you being a good Christian, walking the path of God? No, man, I don't think so, bro. I don't think so.
Because I believe it's because it's just foretold, so therefore it needs to happen. But what if that was the lie? What if that is the lie on purpose to go, it's okay, you guys, you want to push for this in these times?
That's the problem, Stacy.
Yeah.
There's an actual thought of people thinking, oh, maybe this is what God wants. It's a complete it's a complete mind game played
Contradiction.
by these people.
Because what we just spoke about earlier, me and Lion, is most of the Bible talks about being peaceful. Peaceful, God says, speak of to be. So how does this being peaceful? How is this not? How is this loving and caring? And this is the opposite of that.
Yeah. And this is why I always talk against this group of people and what they've done to a beautiful nation called America. They've totally destroyed you guys. You are at a point right now where the whole world is looking at you guys and saying, you lost your way. You're gone. You're finished. It's like, and what kills me is nobody's aware of this in the States. Most people have no idea what's going on in the world right now, that the whole world is
Yeah,
against you.
we're too busy watching these globalist fucks get wrecked right now, dude. It's so awesome. I love that
There's
they're
a
all
perfect
crying about it.
example. Isa, I love Isa, but there's a perfect example of somebody delusional with Trump, like a total delusion of reality. Sorry, brother, I love you, but
But Essie, I
Well, bro,
promise you, I've traveled a lot. I talk to a lot of people. I've stayed in hotels, and when I speak to people, same way much like you do, and I'm not on this whole Trump's going to be a savior thing. Most people in society align with me, understand. They're like, "Damn, can you run for president?" I said, "No. There isn't all that. Ain't no politics shit, right?" And they get it. They know that the system isn't there for them. So this right now, Trump shit is hoping for a play. Now Trump is doing some good things right now, and that's of course they are all going to do that for an illusion. But he's also doing some bullshit that I don't agree with, like they all do as well. Puppeteer, here we go again. It's nothing different. Theater, here it goes. And not everybody SC believes just like he's, I'm sorry. And I hope the whole world, I'm gonna go around and keep telling that when I
yeah,
travel.
this is like
We do not
the
always
first
go who
time.
country flags raising.
Yeah, it's like the first time these bastards are getting routed out. I don't know why everyone doesn't see that. Like, I mean, maybe like you know, the first layer of scum, if you want to be all conspiratorial about it. But it's wild that all these people are facing like potential persecution and shit. And like, it's not the same players in power. At least, even if it is on the surface, the players that have been in power are all getting wrecked right now. It's fucking
Why now?
awesome.
Why not the first time did he do it, huh?
I don't know, dude. How come everyone isn't flat earthers and the Black Pope isn't in jail already, Stace?
That's not what I'm questioning. Is if he has
That's how
this
I
power,
feel
where's this
about it though,
power
because it's
coming
like,
from?
why
Is
are
all
you
I'm
guys like
asking. Is
so
where's
like so?
no,
What I mean, like,
no,
all you guys do is fucking complain. This is the first
I'm not
time we've had a
complaining.
fucking politician in power that's actually calling these bastards to account, showing the books.
Trump.
Like,
Woo!
granted, it's not like, you know, the Black Pope's
I get
arrested and
you.
everybody's not a
Listen,
flat
pizza,
earther,
that's
but
not my
man, this is
question,
awesome.
honey. No, I get you. That's fine. But where did this extra power from Trump? I know you say who cares. I care. Why couldn't he do it the first time? Because we obviously know people at play that are the ones that control it. So why now does Trump have this extra power to go done,
Because he didn't
done?
have the
I mean,
authority to, because if he'd have done it in the first, tell you what, he got the popular vote this time around, so he had to let them hang themselves when they come up in the first round, you know, first one. Like he didn't have the authority to go after all these people like he does now. Where now everyone's like unquestioning, like, well, they did try to shoot him and put him in jail and do all, you know what I mean? Like he's got every fucking like reason to do it now, and the public is cool with it now. It's like it's diplomatic as hell. I don't know. I don't know how the conspiracy heads are upset yet. I mean, I get
you
it,
see
but
how that played out, where you just said, well, he got shot, so very close. Sorry for him now. Like this whole like we public, gotcha.
Yo, Anglin Alchemy. I posted some of the oceanic trenches in there in the chat. If you look, I mean, they already mapped out the ocean floor, so they know where these trenches are at, and they wrap around. And these are these are ancient rivers that are still flowing and giving life. There's nutrients, vital nutrients, and minerals that are spewing out of the earth. That if these rivers were to stop flowing and these geothermal vents were to stop spewing, the oceans would die. The earth would die.
See,
Word,
that's
yeah, I see
another
it, beautiful.
bold statement that comes where from the Bible.
No, dude, it's if the oceans stopped, like if the water stopped moving, the oceans would start to die. The geothermal vents, if they stopped pushing out, everything would start to die. Just science, dude. You don't need the Bible to tell you that.
You know, we had no clue about the geothermal vents until recently, right?
Yeah, I know. And we already had scriptures talking about these rivers.
I was waiting for you to say that. I was waiting. I knew you were going to say that, bro.
Well, yeah. Well, guess what? Science backs up the text, dude. This happens. It happens all the time, consistently. Things that no one knew about till fairly recently, but the ancients spoke about thousands of years ago. How is that possible?
Because this has been a reset many times, and this book has already been set in the ground. Listen. Fine. Is there a possibility that we've been through many resets? And at
Well, hold
one
on.
time,
Just
they built a book and they
hold
planted
on.
it
Hold
in the
on.
ground and all this stuff to match the shit that they already know is happening, already there, and everything for you to
Here we
believe it.
go.
Is it a possibility?
No, not at all. Not even close. But just
Okay.
look at the chat. Look at the chat. So if this is a flat Earth projection, right? You have the North Pole being the location of Eden, right? And from there, just like as Jubilees describes, as Genesis describes, as all the other scriptures describe, you have this one river that flows from Eden and wraps around and then splits into four heads. One of the rivers wraps around Ethiopia, all of Africa. The other one goes around South America. You see that? And these are the oceanic trenches, bro. You got the red one, you got the Pison, the Gihon, the Hiddekel, and the Perat. So as described geographically, right? We have satellite imagery. They've mapped out the ocean floor, corroborating what these ancient texts have already said thousands of years ago. Wow, right? And you're trying to say there was some Jew bluff, just like you do with Trump, right? But you say it's some Jew bluff that they just already knew this and they kind of made up the story recently. How could you even
Absolutely.
think
If I
that?
was to look into it, I would
Yes.
probably find that. Absolutely. There's no way a bunch of Jews 2,000 years ago knew what the ocean trench floor. No, if you're convinced, if you think that they knew, the con has been played on you, bro. It's that simple. There's no
I
possible
just
way some Jews in the desert 3,000 years ago knew the trenches of the deep. Impossible. Only possible in your mind.
the fountains of the deep broke open, dude.
Yep,
At one
broke
point,
open in the mind of some person that wrote a book, and you're believing it, bro. Like it's astonishing
You
that you're
know,
saying this.
normally when I
there's
ask that
tons of
question
texts.
about like resets in a book being placed down and all this stuff, people are very honest with me. I've had many Christians go and even come on my shows and all this. Say, no, yes, he said that is a possibility, but I still stand strong in my faith and belief. And I understand that's being real with me because you don't know.
That's like me saying the Greeks proved that horses fly. Look, we
Yep.
have Pegasus. It's written. Horses flew back then. It's the same thing, bro. The same thing.
Right? It's
Well, I
like,
might as well take the Greek story first. Then.
there's some Aboriginal tribe allegedly, right, that knows about the Sirius constellation, right? And they've had this oral tradition passed down from them for who knows how many generations, and that these people allegedly came down in the past, and now with modern astronomy and telescopes, they can actually see the Sirius constellation and corroborate their testimony. So how they know about that? When
How do you
telescopes
knew
were
that they
invented
knew
to
about that and it
Galileo,
wasn't just added in a book, bro?
I
It's
I
sheer
don't.
belief, bro. Sheer belief.
But I'm saying, like, if science corroborates ancient testimony as fact, why would you say that they already knew about it and then just bluffed it, like recently created the text or something?
Yeah, it could have been written in. This is the way I see it, bro. It's not possible for a group of Jewish people that were in the desert, had nothing, no equipment to know what's at the bottom of the ocean. That is physically not possible. So the only logical conclusion is it's a story. Or God gave them that knowledge. You have these two options, right? God gave them
Amen.
the knowledge, or they just added it in after, because there's no way of them to know it. I'll go with B. You can go with A if you want. I'll go with B.
I'll go with C. So you said, right, it's physically impossible, which at that point in time, 3,000 years ago, unless I had advanced technology and submersibles, I would agree with you. It's physically impossible to go to the oceanic trench,
So
right?
how did they know?
But
How did they know?
through divine revelation, which you
There
hand
you
wave
go.
dismiss. You
There
hand
you
wave
go.
dismiss it.
Special. Yep. Special people. God decided to tell these Jews, of all the other people in the world, what the trench was at the bottom of the ocean. A sheer illogical nonsense that you have to believe in.
Jesse,
Yeah.
is it possible that all the stories are lies and ways and even like the years and everything, and they did have this kind of technology back then because we know they've been lying about technology. We just didn't reset upon reset, and they did have this knowledge back then. And we planted a book. We planted these stories for us to keep in control, and the same freaking thing to happen for another reset. Same story will probably go down again, maybe a little bit restructured. Is that a possibility?
Everything is possible. Highly unlikely. Like highly unlikely. Yeah, that these people had that technology and they were slaves on top of it. Like you got to believe in in fantasies, really, in
Definitely weren't
sheer
slaves, yeah.
fantasies. Yeah, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. It's like you're ascribing so much power, so much authority, so much God preference to a certain people. It's astonishing. It's like it's not believable, man. And I cannot believe such intelligent people that I know and got become friends with, like you guys. I can't believe that you guys actually believe this. Honestly, man, I cannot believe it.
Bro,
Yeah, but
it does. It's not just exclusive to the Jews, though, dude. Like, this isn't even a Jewish thing, bro. When we're talking about the center of our world, you're acting like the center of our world is exclusive to the Jews, dude. That is, to me, is nonsensical, bro. To me, that it
You
shows
doing
that
that?
you have this crazy bias, right, where you're blinded by anger and hate that you're not even willing to look at what I'm posting. Because you're
I'm not
you're so
blinded.
focused on the Jews, bro. It's
Bro,
not
I'm not
exclusive
blinded
to
Not by
on
hate.
hate.
it's not exclusive to the Jews, bro. You have to
Bro, I
understand
hear
that.
you day in and day out. That's all you talk about, bro. The Jews.
Oh my
That's all you
God, dude.
talk about,
I have
bro.
not brought up the Jews at all, bro. We're talking about the
Can,
center of
can
our
I
world, dude.
say
We're
one
talking
thing
about
for
we're
SC?
talking
Because
about rivers
this
that
isn't
flow out of the
hate.
center of the world, and you're talking about Jews. You came in here talking about Jews
Wait,
when we're talking about rivers from Eden.
Where did you get the info from of these
It doesn't.
rivers?
It doesn't. I could have got it
So it
from.
doesn't matter, right?
Listen, you got Mount Meru. Is Mount Meru Jewish? No. You got Shambhala. Is Shambhala Jewish? No. You got Rupus Negra. Is Rupus Negra Jewish? No. You got the Inuits. The Inuits have their own version. The Eskimos have their own version of what's at the center of the world and parallels the Jewish cosmology. I'm trying to show you this, and you're just the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, dude. Like, relax with the Jews, dude. Like you have this
You
hatred
relax
that's
with the Jews,
blinding
but if
you.
you want me
That's
to relax, you
it's
relax.
blinding your judgment,
No, bro, you're the one that's blinded by judgment. You are
bro.
reading a Jewish
You're
book.
done.
You're
SC, you're
quoting a
done.
Jewish book.
You're
Everything you
done.
talk about is Jewish. It's funny that you don't realize that,
You're
bro.
done. SC, you're
can
done.
can I now
You're
say
done.
something, please?
Shambhala's not
You're
Because
finished,
Jewish,
bro.
bro.
can I
Mount
please,
Meru's not Jewish. Rupus Negra's not Jewish, dude. You're
guys?
done, bro. You're done.
Just to calm the situation down. One, I think both you guys come from love. Lion, you come from a very structure of your book and all that, which seems sometimes judgmental. No offense, honey. That's just what we feel sometimes. But Essie just came from a very good place of love, trying to save children, trying to save the world. This is not hate. This is of love and care and respect. The man actually, Essie, is a very loving man. And even when he says something out of line, he's like, I'm sorry. Like, he actually cares. So let's not turn this to a conversation of hate, because Essie is not of hate. He is my friend.
So the
It's
Nordics
not
also
about
had
hate.
their own version of the tree at the center of our realm, right? Pete Shea has this idea of cosmology with the tree at the center of our realm. Is Pete Shea influenced by Jewish cosmology? Or were the Nordics influenced by Jewish cosmology with Midgard and Asgard? No, dude. But you're so focused with the Jews, the Jews, the Jews that you can't actually look at this and evaluate it properly.
No, bro. You use the Bible as a reference to all of this
And
stuff. It's in Ezra, it's in this, it's in that. Now you have to accept this is Jewish stuff. If you don't accept that, what can I tell you, bro? Why
oh
aren't you
my
reading
goodness.
Apollo or Zeus
All
or
right, so
Prometheus? Or why aren't you reading something from the
I
Indian
do that.
Vamaras or why?
I have the Iliad and the Odyssey physically at my house, bro, on my bookshelf, and I have read it. So for you to say that, bro, clearly you don't have an argument, bro.
I didn't say you
You
didn't
don't
read it.
have
I
an
say
argument,
why
bro.
don't you quote them? You always quoting the
I do,
Bible,
bro.
Ezra, Jewish stuff.
Dude, I talk about this. I cross reference,
Why
bro.
don't you quote them? You always quoting
I
the
do,
Bible,
bro.
Ezra, Jewish stuff.
Dude, I talk about this. I cross reference things all the time, dude, consistently. And for you to act like the deluge that happened is strictly a Jewish thing, it shows your ignorance, because you have over 200 cultures, right, all around the world referencing this deluge that happened. But yet you're so
I never
focused
said
on the
anything
Jews,
about the
bro.
deluge. I never said.
Dude,
Why are you misquoting me?
you're still stuck on the Jews, bro. You're stuck. You're mentally stuck.
No, bro. You're the one that's stuck. I'm trying to unstick you, bro. But you're taking it as an assault on you. I'm not assaulting you. It's like an intervention, right? When you see somebody that hooked on drugs or something, you're hooked on Jews, bro. You're hooked on Torah. So,
Hope.
so I'm trying to unhook you, bro. That out of love, not anything else.
The, the oceanic trenches that we're talking about, bro, it has nothing to do with the Jews. Relax.
Okay.
Talking about oceanic trenches, the volcanic vents, the geothermal vents that wrap around the earth, and you're stuck on Jews, dude. Unbelievable.
Hold on, Lion. Where did you get this map from? Where does this come from? You referenced it that they knew about it. You said it, not me, bro. I don't know why you're picking on me. You're the one that said it, no? That they knew about this, and then
Bro, you
science
can't, bro.
proved it.
We were talking about geothermal vents, and you came in here talking about the Palestinians, dude. Like that, it was like
No,
a non
bro, no,
sequitur.
don't try to put it on me, bro. Did
That's
you
literally
not
what
say
happened.
that? Did you not say that the trenches that they knew about it in the Bible, and today they proved it? Did you not say that?
Yeah, but we were talking about Florida possibly being the origin of the Garden of Eden, right? And then I started talking about the oceanic trenches, how the rivers that flow out of the north, which I posted a map that depicts this, right? A lot of people were aware of this. It wasn't just a Jewish thing. And then you came in here with some tirade about the Jews and Palestine.
It wasn't a tirade,
That's
bro.
literally what happened.
No, that's not what happened. No, you kept referencing the floor and to the Bible, and they knew it back then. And I said, wait a minute, is this going to be a Bible thing again? And that's when I came in to say that you're influenced by the Bible and the Jewish thing, and everything you talk about every day, you reference it to this book, bro. I mean, if you don't see it, what can I tell you?
No, I agree that I do reference the books, the texts all the time. But so what? It's not a Jewish thing, dude. I already showed you how it's not just a Jewish thing. It just happens that the Jews spoke a lot about the same things that these other cultures talked about.
He understands. He's just saying everything gets referenced back to, the book or Jesus and all that. And so sometimes we can just say on something that it's just everybody understands and believes or has faith in. Nature, the world around us, or metaphysical. I mean, no, it's Elon. Sometimes you do it, and we all do it. Like people who are strong in faith are going to always, because, honey, it is to them, and it is still to me about God at the end of the day, whether you believe in that book or not. So for me, yes, it's still, and I just talk a different manner than they do. But we're all on the same path here, I think, looking for something. Answers or looking for that connection with your creator, because we do know there's a creator, right? Yeah.
Movie?
Well, the ones communicating right now, Tim, and the ones I spoke about, like Taurus.
Let me ask Tim, since he lives in where are you from? Norway, Switzerland?
Somewhere in between that.
Somewhere over there, bro. I always forget. But so do you have any understanding of this in your mythology? Or I know you don't. I know you're a Glober, but does your culture have any oral traditions on like Midgard, Asgard, that type of stuff? The tree at the center.
Of course we do.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that? Because SC wants to hear from the other side a little bit.
Well,
he's sick of hearing from the.
That's a very big question. Like I'm not sure where to start and what to end.
You can start with Thor.
But I mean, if you want
Midgard,
if we're talking about mythology in general, like we can trace things back with human migration and language migration and stuff like that, and we can see a correlation of how these stories actually migrated, and they didn't come from some divine inspiration and all that kind of crap. So that's my position, and this is why we can actually map out where these stories began, how they have changed over time, how humans migrated and language migrated and stuff like that. So that's my position on that. I don't delve into the stories like that because I don't find it to be of a huge importance.
That's well said, bro. A lot of the gods have been passed down through generation to generation and changed. He's absolutely right.
I mean, even Hebrews, they adopted something from Zoroastrianism when the Persians were the leaders of that land. And we have that in the records. I mean, that's...
Did he break up?
Yeah, I thought I broke it up. I want to know more about the mythology, dude. Like the mythology of your culture and what they think's at the North Pole. That's what I was interested in. But if you don't know much about it, then it's all good, dude.
Well, I do know about it, but I mean, you said it yourself. The tree of life is the center, pretty much. So there is not much more to that,
All right. Well, point proven.
Notice how you said mythology. Right away, you put his people's thing down to myth, right? But the Jews, that's real, right? Notice that?
No, I'm working within his framework because he considers it all mythology. So that's why I said that. I don't consider even his ideas mythological.
Well, according to that religion, everything is a myth. Everything is pagan, right?
No, that's not. That's not the case.
Yes. Only the Jews are good. Everybody else is pagans, bro. Yes.
Isn't that in today's world though? Like, I don't think the Egyptians thought it was myth or like. They didn't used to think it was myth. That's like more of a new idea, like mythology. When was that word invented? Mythology.
Probably as soon as the one true religion came out, I'm willing to bet everything else became mythology.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
only
but
one true God, only one
I see.
true
We can't just
religion.
attack it like
Yeah.
that because
But they don't
I see.
believe
Is there
it's
some stuff in the
mythology.
Bible that's real and true? Do you believe there's some truth in the Bible? Because I know when I read the book, whether I want to believe that that is the creator or not, like right name and all that, and all these stories, I do find quite a bit of truth in that book, right?
Like what?
But yes, in
Like,
Norse
sorry,
mythology,
kind
we have several origins of springs and rivers and lakes and stuff like that that all stem from Yggdrasil. So yeah, it correlates with some of the other stories, but this can be explained with human migration. One of those would be Vegelmir. Other one would I cannot pronounce these words. It's written in Icelandic. And one of them is Mima as well of Over, and then Vegelmir. And these are all stem from Yggdrasil and flows out into the world, you know.
Real quick, so can you elaborate on that? Because I don't know, I don't recognize these places. So, what these rivers, where they flow out of? The North Pole?
Well, they don't distinctly say North Pole. Yggdrasil should be at the center of the entire cosmology, where all the realms is attached throughout branches and the
Right,
roots and stuff like that. So
exactly.
I assume these rivers are in the center of the world, and these rivers are attached to the various realms, you know.
Amazing. So yeah, I said the North Pole because that's what we recognize it today. Clearly, they didn't call it the North Pole because they didn't believe in the globe. Ha! But it's the center of our realm, correct?
It's the center of the cosmology itself. Like as I said, like there is the tree of life where all the seven realms are attached to, from hell all the way up to Asgard.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe that. To me, that's not mythology, dude.
You ever see the meme where there's some British soldiers and they're in some African continent and they're pointing at some black Africans praying at some totem poles, whatever, and then on the bottom it shows the British praying to a cross with Jesus and the Aboriginals laughing at him. You ever see that meme? It's the best meme I've ever seen, bro. In other words, everybody thinks their religion is okay. Their impossible things that they believe in are true, but then possible things that other people, well, that's crazy. That's just crazy, right? Having a green god with seven arms, that's just insane, right?
I
But
think
our
that's
God dying
possible.
and coming back, that's normal. Splitting seas, making snakes, that's normal, right? Yeah.
And see, I don't think you understand like when I see patterns, like parallels in their testimony, I take it very seriously. I don't hand wave dismiss it just because they're different people or a different culture. So when like I just asked him, and what he's talking about corroborates the biblical account that what's at the north, the tree of life, the rivers that flow out of Eden. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, bro. It's not a Jewish thing, dude. It's not exclusive to the Jews. And that's my whole point, bro. So when they
I
talk
mean,
about these other
not
deities,
exclusive. But
like when
why
they
do
talk
you?
about these, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I agree, it's not exclusive, these stories, but why do you basically believe in that one story? That I don't get it, bro.
There's many reasons for my justification. I don't want to get into my methodology for epistemology, but all I'm saying is that when you see cross parallels in these other cultures, they talk about these demigods, whether they're called Anunnaki or whether it's Thor or Zeus. I take it very seriously, bro. To me, it's not just mythology. I believe that these entities existed at some point in the past. It's not too far fetched for me, dude. Odin. Odin is probably a real entity. He probably goes by many names. It just happens that under that narrative, he's his name is Odin.
So you think Odin and the
Yeah,
God
Yahweh
of the
is
Bible
probably a
are
real entity, goes by many names, but
so you guys are saying now that Odin and the God of the Bible are one and Zeus are one?
No, I'm saying that what the scriptures talk about, these demigods, these principalities, because the scriptures do talk about other gods, other deities. Yahweh himself said, "You shall not have any other gods before me," right? And he gets mad at the other nations worshiping these other gods, which are what? They're fallen angels, dude. For all we know, Odin and Thor are Poseidon are fallen angels, dude. So I take it very seriously.
So God has feelings. He got upset. He got mad. You see what I'm saying, bro? It's like, I don't know, man. Like I said, to me, this is like a dark matter, dark energy story that's been invented and people believe in it with absolutely no proof whatsoever. To the contrary, with a thousand different other religions. I mean, it's
not
I
just
don't know what
that,
to
but
say.
like there's proof against it, and people are still like, no, my globe.
Yeah, same thing. Exact same thing. It's impossible to have gas pressure and water in a vacuum. No, but we believe it, right? It's impossible for a human to die and come back to life. We believe it. It's impossible to know what at the bottom of the ocean 2,000 years ago, but no, we believe it.
So, SE, can I ask, why don't the story of the Jews?
I didn't catch that. You broke up there.
Oh, I said, why don't you believe the story of the Jews?
Because it's a fantastical, nonsensical uh, story. That's why.
But I mean, more specifically, why?
More specifically, sure. Um, it's a story written in their favor, right? And they're supposed to be God's holy people, but in reality, it appears to be God's warmongering people, genocidal maniacs. That's why. I see what they say in their book and what they do now. They're genocidal warmongers convicted of genocide. I hope that helps.
Yeah, and even if they are, though, they could be all of that, but their story of history still could be true. Why specifically do you not believe their story in history?
Because they are conniving, manipulating. They've been thrown out of 100 countries. Does that help?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, that's fine. That's exactly what I thought. I just wanted to get a bit more detail out of you, but yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, and this is not me being anti-Jewish or whatever they want to put on, right? It's just fact. I'm just relating facts to you and showing you the timeline and showing you the people that are controlling your country right now, right? So I'm not making stuff up.
Oh, I know, and I think it's a matter of history. I think there is a lot of this, is about your belief in the ecclesiastic records and the historical timeline that we've been given and told, and it's crazy how much is based on the Bible in our history.
Even
Yeah,
Billy
go ahead.
Carlson, dude, he doesn't believe the biblical narrative. He doesn't attest to the Jews, but he picks and chooses, what to borrow from their worldview, from the Bible. Like when it comes to like, the biblical cosmology that we're talking about, like these guys will evaluate some of that stuff. So and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I honestly, if you're agnostic, you're an atheist, but yeah, you're interested in ancient cosmology, or you're interested in our realm. What's wrong with doing that, SC? Like, why? I know you don't believe in the God of the Bible, but what's wrong with just cross-referencing some of this stuff with other cultures, maybe evaluating it, even if you don't believe the whole account?
Nothing's wrong with it, bro. And I've been studying it recently. I've been looking into Gnosticism and all kinds of other interesting religions. But that doesn't mean that I have to believe in this one religion. And I don't. I'm sorry. I mean,
I know. You don't have to believe in the whole religion. I'm saying, like, when it comes to like what's at the North Pole, though, like when it talks about the rivers or the mountains or the tree of life, like if you see cross references, like in the Nordic mythology, right, and Hindu mythology and Buddhist mythology, what's the problem, dude?
it's no problem. Napalm, you're hot miking, bro.
All right then.
There's no problem. Fine. There's no problem. I'm just expressing my opinion that I think that we have been usurped by certain people. I've said it many times, and that is my opinion. Now, with all due respect. Now, when I hear you preaching all the time, I feel obliged to come in and and like
I'm
give the
not preaching, dude.
counterpoint.
That's the thing. You don't have to accept the gospel message to evaluate our cosmology using ancient text, dude. And you seem, I don't know, there's a disconnect there, dude.
The AFF, it's an argument from feelings.
It's not an argument from feelings, bro. You
Hey,
guys have the feelings. You just don't
I
realize it.
don't like them, therefore it doesn't exist. Yeah.
No, you've been usurped. Therefore, somebody's telling you you've been usurped, and you don't want to realize it. That's the
It
problem.
doesn't. No, I don't. That's not even what I'm trying to get at. Like, I'm talking about the history of it. You're like, I don't like the people, therefore their history isn't true.
No, what I'm telling you is the history has been usurped. You think
Yeah,
a
you think
certain
that.
way because they've written it down, right? They're the good guys, right? To you. But that's not it, bro. They're using you. They're manipulating your country right now. And that's what kills me. You don't see it.
That's the
Right
AFF
now, it's
again.
happening.
It's another appeal to emotion argument from feelings.
No, brother, it's an appeal to somebody sleeping like you, with all due respect. They are controlling your country
Again,
right
you're
now.
doing
I
it
showed you
again.
many, many times, right? They're controlling your country. You don't want to accept it, bro. That's
That's
fine.
that's again an appeal to an emotion.
No, it's
You're
called,
trying to
they're
tug at my
controlling your country.
heartstrings. You're trying to tug at my heartstrings. Like, dude, I feel so bad for you. I'm trying to help you emotionally.
I just think
Negative.
it's
I'm
weird
telling you right
to
now, you're
glorify a human trafficking drug dealer. You know what I mean? Like, that's just weird.
Who, Jesus?
Yeah, human trafficking drug dealer, bro.
Wow, okay, Emmett Hill. If you think that dude is legit, bro, why have you even read like the Reddit forums with all the historians saying the reason they won't debate him?
Have you looked into the Greek and seen what the
Yeah,
term
I
means?
watched. I went down
He's
the
gonna bring
rabbit
up the
hill.
Greek
I
word,
went
dude.
down.
Oh
Yeah,
my!
I
We
went
already
down the
what?
rabbit hole on Ammon Hillman just recently, a couple days ago, and that
Oh
dude
wow.
is
Yeah, I've been watching him
ridiculous,
for
bro.
months and I've been studying the Greek.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's weird.
yeah.
But the fact that you watch him makes me nervous if you think that is a reliable source. So I'm getting nervous about
The
this
fact
community. If that's what
that
they think
you
is the
don't think
research.
they would have done drugs makes me nervous that you're an unreliable source yourself.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, you build a whole doctrine off of one word,
One
Christos,
word. What are you talking about?
and
One word.
you hijack that word and you try to apply the medical definition.
That's hilarious. You think that
That's your
I'm going off of one word.
yeah, dude.
So why does Jesus talk about lestes or being not being
I just
lestes?
want to
Why does he talk
talk
about
about the
using a
Bible,
thalassemon? Why
Bob.
does he talking about using a Christ to counteract the thalassemon? Oh my
Yo,
gosh. Why does he
Eamon
say these
Hillman
things in the
admits.
Bible? Why
Eamon
does he say
Hillman
these things in
admits
the Bible?
he puts an act on. He's admitting that this is a whole
Why does
act and
Jesus
everything.
say he uses these things in the Bible?
Point out chapter and verse.
All right, I'll have to find. I'll be right back.
So let's get back to the feeling thing, right? Let's see who has the feelings. Um, I'm showing you stuff that's happening right now. These certain people of the book are usurping your government. I can show you that a convicted war criminal was invited by your president, and the whole world is laughing. I can show you things that you've been usurped, and you're telling me I have feelings? No, no, no.
Those are
You
you
have the
just appeal
feelings.
to emotion
The
again.
messenger, you're attacking the messenger, which would be me. You have the feelings.
You just appeal to emotion again. First of all, those Jews or whatever don't follow the book that I follow. They don't believe in Jesus. So,
Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. They're still controlling you.
okay, thanks, man.
Bro, you just can't see it. I don't understand why you refuse to see it. It's
I
well
can't.
known.
It's all,
Anderson
but
spent
hold
a
on.
hundred million. Let me finish, please. Anderson spent $100 million on your president, bro. $100 million openly in the open. You cannot see that. Your president has been bought and sold by these people, yet you do not acknowledge that.
That's not even any of my argument. My argument was that you're appealing to emotion. You're saying their history doesn't exist because you don't like those people. And now you're bringing up something with President Trump and something about these Jews that are today. And you're assuming the Jews today are definitely the same Jews that were pulled out of the Exodus and all this stuff. And I don't even know that if that's the case or not. 1948 was a scam, dude, with the whole Israel being a nation and everything. So I don't know what's going on in today's world if someone has hijacked a Bible story, claimed it as their own, and now is trying to usurp people for it. But that I can't control what people do with different stories. Okay? I don't have the ability to do that. All I know is that the worldview of the scripture is coherent and rational, and it gives you a easy way to understand what's going on around you.
Nah, how could a book written 3,000? No, bro, it's no. It's just like a Nostradamus. It's just you're putting your belief in this book. That's all it is, bro. You have nothing to show for it. It's just pure belief and feelings.
I have a whole
And you
worldview
can't
that's
take somebody
consistent.
showing you, telling you the truth, bro. It's like I don't know.
I have a whole worldview that's consistent. I can tell you where all the presuppositions that you use come from. I can tell you what makes knowledge possible. I can show you why there's uniformity in nature, why there are the laws of logic. All of those things are found in that worldview. So that's the worldview I'm going to hold on to because at this point I can actually explain why we know things.
Well, I can show you that same thing using Greek philosophy, not once mentioning anything to do with Jewish or their mysticism or anything. I can show you a worldview of the Chinese, of the Indians, of so many other cultures, my friend. You really
But
have
they're
nothing. You
contradictory
really
though.
have nothing, bro.
They
I
have
mean, of
contradictions in their worldview, though. So
course they
that's the
do.
problem.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got the right ones. Yeah, got it.
We don't have contradiction, dude. The scripture doesn't contradict itself. All the Greek
Oh, really?
mythologies, all
Oh,
of
really?
the Chinese mythologies, all of them are contradictory to themselves, dude. They
Yeah,
don't
I'll
even
prove it
have
to you
like
right
the
now.
all powerful God.
I'll prove you're wrong right now that you don't have contradictions. The Trinity. What's that?
I don't believe in the Trinity. That's not biblical. That's just something a man came up with.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so the stuff we don't like, we put it aside and
No,
say
that's
it's
not correct.
man-made.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah, some guy made that up. It's not in the Bible.
So the fact that God is the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit, that's not in the Bible.
No, it's not in the Bible.
You have to kind of make a stretch. You have to stretch the Bible. It doesn't say that anywhere.
Oh, so when I
You
go to
only
church and I hear them saying that,
you won't find the word Trinity in the Bible anywhere, bro.
Yeah, they don't. They have. When you hear them saying that, that's because an old church father said to say this, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, we'll say it."
okay, all right, I'll put you guys to the test. The person that was on the cross, who was that? That
There
was
was
Jesus,
three.
right? That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
Jesus?
There was Jesus and two thieves were hung next to him.
Okay, who did Jesus talk to when he was on the
That's a
cross and
lie.
asked for help?
The term lestes translates to pirates, not thieves.
Okay, because Julius Caesar was captured as a kid, and Julius said that he was Laestes or whatever, and now, therefore, they weren't thieves on the cross. Got it.
Yeah, the Bible's the only place in antiquity that translates that word to thieves.
Let me check. Let me go check that real quick. Let's
All
see if
right,
he's
go
right about
ahead.
that. I'll be
Go
right
ahead.
back.
Have a good time. Anyways, I was just going to bring up what I was saying earlier about the Thalisimon, which translates to deadly, fatal, and it's citing Mark as a source, and Discarides and what's his name? Galen. Yeah, citing all of those people. And let's see the actual verse that it says it in. This is fun. The actual verse says, Othies sin kan thalasimon ti pawasin. Sorry, messed that last bit of the word up.
What chapter and
Citing
verse is that? I
That's
missed it.
Mark 16:18. But even if you read it, you can't read the Greek anyways. Ha!
Well, I have interlinears.
That's not the same thing. Your Greek and real Greek, like ancient Greek, aren't the same thing. Koine Greek is not real Greek. It is some special made up Greek just for the Bible. Gay.
I wanted to
You
hear
can take it
Essie's
back,
big
Essie.
gotcha moment with the crucifixion or something.
Yeah, Jesus was on the cross. I forgot. What were you going with, Essie?
The
Who
Trinity.
did he talk to? Who was Jesus talking to?
Talking to the people around him.
He was talking to God to help him, no? Or do I got that wrong?
Like when he said, like, my God, why have you forsaken me?
Or when he says, "Forgive them, for they not know what they do," he was speaking to his father, dude. What do you mean? And for his father in heaven,
So
who sits on a
wasn't
throne.
he the same? Wasn't
What?
didn't God become Jesus and come to earth?
No, I don't believe that.
You're mischaracterizing. That's what I'm saying. We don't believe in the Trinity like some people. And even the thing that the
Well,
word Trinity, dude, there's
actually,
so many different modalities of that. So we don't
on
believe
the
that Jesus is
cross,
the Father incarnate. Nobody believes that. Anybody with a reasonable mind and reads the scriptures for what it actually says, nobody believes that, dude. So it's a
well,
straw
Jesus on
man.
the cross says Sabakathon, which is actually a Bacchic cry because he was doing the Bacchic rites. So,
Oh my goodness.
just like Lestes means human trafficker, not just from Julius Caesar, it's mentioned in numerous other places across the Greek ancient world.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I've talked to you about this before and how the both the Greek and the Hebrews are very limited, right? There's like 6,000-7,000 words. So one
Yeah,
word
and the
can have
Hebrew.
multiple, hold on. One word can have multiple applications. Contextually, you have to read the verse, right, to understand the context. And you're trying to use another
1.4
context and
million
hold
unique
and
word
you
forms
did the same
versus
thing with the word
8,000.
Christos. You did
1.4 million. 1.4 million
yo,
versus 8,000.
your
I'm going
boy
to go
lies
with
about
the
his name,
Greek
bro.
dude,
philologist.
I can't even
Yo,
finish a sentence, bro.
your
Bro,
boy,
you did the same thing with the word Christos. You hijacked the word, right? And you did what Omnivore was doing with the word yesterday with the word level. You hijack the definition and apply only one, because when you look up the definition, there might be 4, 5, 6 uses, right? And you're trying to hijack one usage and act like that's the only one you can use. That's the only one that it
No,
means.
that's what you're doing with
That
the
is a
Bible because that's what the
fallacy, dude.
Bible does. The Greek word Christos or Christa, like Christ, what is it? What's the original? It's not Christos, but it's Christe or something. But either way, that was taken from the Greek. Just like hallelujah is a Greek word, just like salvation is a Greek word, and they are drug terms, medical drug terms.
yo, go
Yeah,
worship
hallelujah is a
Follow
Babylon, bro.
medical drug
That's
term.
how
fine,
it
dude.
goes,
Unbelievable,
sir.
dude.
Go worship Lady Babylon, bro, and be like that
No,
dude and
I don't
tattoo
worship
Medea
him. I
on
just
your head, bro. That's what he does,
so
and
you're
he
just
says
gonna
he's
attack
not.
my
No,
character.
listen,
That's
he's
great.
not
You see
monetized.
this
He
guy?
says, bro,
He doesn't
he
agree,
says
so he's
he's not
attacking my
monetized.
character.
So people have found out that this dude does make money off of this. So he's lied multiple times. He does not even have the name Ammon Hillman. His name's not Ammon. He says he has two middle names. No one can prove that. Why are you believing this guy who can't even show he won't even show this stuff?
Because
I,
you can't hate the messenger or kill the
the
messenger for the message.
the dude that says I will not I will not monetize my channel. I will not make money off this information because I cannot, because the devil told me so. Hasatan told him he can't make money off this information, and then he's caught making money off this information. What do we do with that? How do you trust someone who's like says he's the best, he's like best friends with the deceiver? How do you know he's not deceiving? How do you know he's not a deceiver?
He
How do you
is
know
he
he's
is a
telling the
deceiver.
truth?
You could just look at him, dude.
Yeah, but
And I'm not saying
SC was about to
yeah.
prove that Zeus was equally as coherent as Christianity. That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that because all they're doing is attacking my character and the character of the individual I'm speaking of, and they don't have any actual arguments that are
No,
actually
no.
pertaining to the words themselves.
Quinn, you jumped in with this like red herring when they were talking to SC, and SC was saying their worldview was
Well,
incoherent.
either
Zeus
way,
is equally as coherent. And you just said,
I
yeah,
said
but
earlier to go
this
back
use
to
is
Essie's
incoherent.
thing. Why are you getting on my case? They're the ones who keep rambling on about this shit. I was like, I'd like to hear the
So
thing about SE. I said like
real quick
5,
though.
10 minutes ago.
So
Get
I
on my
did
case.
hold on, bro. So I went and looked up the word lestes, right, to see if what your claim was true, bro, patently false. It took 2 seconds, bro. So I got here right here. These are secular, right? You got Herodotus, you have Sophocles, and many other ancient writings referencing this word as a robber, a plunderer, a freebooter,
A human trafficker.
a
A
brigand.
trafficker of
Hold on,
goods.
no, hold on.
It's
Originally,
the
you were saying
same,
no
dude.
way, bro. See, this is the problem with you guys, bro. I confront you, right? I address your previous claim that the only time it's used as a thief is in the Bible. Now I've looked up 2 sources that are not biblical. So your claim has already been debunked, dude, in 2 minutes of research. Yet you're depending on this so-called scholar and you're regurgitating his bullshit that I'm debunking in 2 minutes of research. Literally, I hear it says Herodotus. And dude, I'll post it. Here you go.
I
In
love
the
how you
chat here.
talk about a language you don't even know.
It
It's
doesn't
hilarious.
matter, dude.
That's
You're
exactly what
hilarious,
he
dude.
says, dude. That's so funny because you're literally parroting Ammon Hill. That's what you're doing. All you're doing is just parroting what he says. When
Reading what he
people do not
posting.
debate him because he is incompetent and has no idea what he is talking about. So there's no reason to give him the time of day to make
Right.
him more
That's why.
popular.
Okay, that's hilarious. No, he can't get someone to debate him. And when they do, they won't talk to him about the Bible. He's never been able to get someone to talk to him about the Bible. They talked to 18 different scholars. They had to pay the Christian exorcist $5,000. That is so Christian, by the way.
Okay, and
Like
did
that is
he
so
take the
out Christian. Like, you better give
$5,000?
me that money. Money,
Did
money,
he
money.
take the
I'm Christian.
$5?
Give me that
Did he
money.
take? Do you have evidence he took the $5,000?
What? No, he tried to rip it up and he left it because he got called out on it. And his
Okay, so
pride was
he
hurt.
didn't take the five thousand
No,
dollars.
but that
So
was
he
why he
What about the
didn't
obviously
do it.
Trinity?
didn't.
Is because he was
What about the
offered five
Trinity?
thousand dollars.
Hold on. So this is
Only
from
reason he
Thayer's.
didn't take it is because
This
Amon
isn't from the
Hillman called him out.
Strong's. This isn't from the Strong's Concordance. This is from the Thayer's Greek
Oh, from the
Lexicon.
Jewish source, of course.
Thayer's Greek Lexicon. It says Sophocles and Herodotus.
I want to hear what SE was talking about. You guys are still like so upset about me. I'd like to
I
hear
want to
whatever SE
hear.
was
I
saying.
want to hear
I
Se
was
watch
trying
Ammon
to.
Hillman, bro. I want to see what
I was
What Se
actually
would say.
talking. Like, what the hell? Thanks. I was trying to hear what SE was saying like 10 minutes ago, and you guys kept on just like harassing me, basically.
Yeah, when you say someone is a child, like, dude,
Yes.
when you throw allegations like that, we don't just let that slide. That's so far fetched, bro. If anyone in this room, these are pretty solid individuals in here. They can pick up and discern that dude is weird. Se, have you ever looked into Ammon Hillman?
I don't believe I even heard of him.
I'd like you to check him out, because this is the new thing that people are coming through with is this Ammon Hillman guy, has studied the Greek and has, what is he again? Somethingology. What is it?
Greek
Philosology?
philologist of 30 years.
A Greek philologist of 30 years, so his credentials
You
seem
can't
pretty
even
legit. He
pronounce the
was
words
fired.
that you're trying
He
to
was
argue against.
he
What
he
a
was
lame
fired
fucking.
from that position because they were saying, oh, well, the Greek part isn't as well developed, and he was kind of trying to develop it further. And for some reason, they didn't want that to go on. And that's the conspiracy, is because he's actually uncovering the truth that Jesus was a human trafficker. So that's what the new argument is, and I'd like you to see how this guy speaks, how he talks, if his information is legit, because he seems like a snake oil salesman. Anyone would tell you that. He even admits he does put on an act while he's
Yo,
doing it.
Pete, yo, I literally, I'm looking him up on Google, dude. This is the first images that pop up. This is the guy that they're taking all
Jesus
this
was a
information from.
human trafficker. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, especially of children. Yeah, he's saying Jesus was a children trafficker.
Okay,
Yo,
that's even too much for me. Like, but hey, I'll give him a listen. Like, I don't know who he is.
yo, he admits to basically talking to the devil, bro. Like, this guy is nobody. Yo, I don't know, man.
He's
Teach
off his
their own, dude.
Okay,
rocker, bro.
check
He's
this
off.
out now.
He's off.
Check this out. Check this out, guys. Let's be cool. Let's not be confrontational, right? And this is good. Did you guys hear what the Pope has said recently about Jesus? I posted it a couple of days ago, and nobody seems to have like took it serious. Did you hear what the Pope said? He said that he thinks that Jesus was a man, an actual man,
I do
not
too.
the Son of God. What?
He's both the son of God and he was an actual man. Yes.
Says in
No, no,
Philippians, he
no.
lowered himself.
There they go with the contradictions again.
No, dude.
Yeah.
It's not a contradiction. He was born of a virgin, an actual flesh and blood man, dude.
Why? Why is it such a controversy that people are
I
saying
don't
it's like
know. I don't know.
blasphemy?
Why is it a controversy? Ask this guy. He acts like I don't know. Why can't he be a man?
Do you know what I'm talking about? First of all, Lion, have you heard the Pope? Have you read some of the stuff?
Nah, dude. I don't pay
Let,
attention to what the Pope says. I know he said some controversial shit the other day. He says it all the time. Like, even according to Catholic standards, is like blasphemy. Catholics are denying the Pope.
yeah, this is controversial stuff. This is what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find. I know I saved some of those quotes.
What I
Use the
don't
right
get,
But
you
word.
yo,
have
real quick though. If you just look at this guy real quick, I put him in the chat, dude. This is the guy that all these guys are appealing to. You could just look in his eyes, bro. Look at the first and second image. And the third, like, dude, this guy's nobody to be trusted, bro. He's got the devil in him, dude. Look at those evil ass eyes, dude. Like, come on, bro. You don't gotta be a freaking prophet. Just use a little bit of discernment that God gave you, for goodness sake, dude. Please, dude.
Yeah, I ain't putting any credence on this man or any one man. Like I said, I never heard of this dude before. But I want to bring up what the Pope said, right? Now that's pretty significant, right?
Not
I don't
really.
know.
Does anybody in the room follow the Pope and think that the Pope is the vicar of Christ?
Hell no.
That's what, okay, that's where I'm like, you have the Catholic Church, which was the main church of Christianity for a long time. And it was rife with like human trafficking and pedophilia. And where do you think it got it from? Like, I don't
That's
get it.
that church, though, dude. That church took the scripture and would read it in a different language than the congregation that was sitting there listening to it. They didn't share the actual text with the people. Once
And
the
that's
text
a
became
direct
available,
descendant
hold on. Once the
from
text
Jesus.
once the text no, that's not correct. Once the text became available to the public eye, things started to change. So once people could read it for themselves, they were like, wow, is it possible the Catholic Church was lying to us? Could they have been infiltrated and deceived and trying to deceive further? Is that a possibility in your mind or no?
Oh, sure. But I think that it started from the slums and the scums, and Rome was where all the most evil things in the world started, bro.
Why would Pontius Pilate, which is a historical figure, wash his hands and say, I can find no problems with this man. He can find no sin in him. So he said, if you Jews want to do this, the blood is on your hands. As a historical account, if it is true that he was a human trafficker, why would Pontius Pilate find him not guilty?
I don't know. I don't
Well, that's
claim
a
to know all
big
these things.
question. That's a huge question that Eamon Hillman doesn't bring up. Nobody even talks to him about that because once you look
Well,
into the
maybe you
historical
would have
narrative,
balls to go and confront him and talk to him about it.
I'm
I would
not.
love to
I
see
would
it. I would
never
love
waste my
anyone
time.
to go and
I
talk to
would.
that guy
I
because they
would
all say,
never
"Oh,
waste
it's
my
not
time.
worth our time. We can't do it because he's just blah 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 and ugly, and he doesn't look nice, and so I don't want to talk to him because of these other like bullshit
No,
reasons."
dude. It's the
Straight up.
same reason I don't engage with paid NASA shill. Do you understand? He's set in his bias. He's not interested in having the conversation. Okay? He's just going to continually spew the lies. He took a freaking oath with the devil, bro. He can't. He can't see it any other way.
I see, said the blind man to the deaf man in the land of the blind, where the one-eyed man is king.
It'd be one thing if you didn't believe in Jesus or the devil at all, but he literally believes in the devil. Like he talks about the devil, like he talks to him like his buddy.
I don't know. I think he just does it to piss you guys off.
That's true. He
Right?
does that act. He
Does
does the
you're right?
he
It's an
does all
act
that. Hold on. He does that to
gets
piss us off to trigger people. But
to get views.
at the same time, he believes in the Lady Babylon. And
That's
then
because
you
she
know what
prefers
his whole thing
Christ.
is? Yeah,
That was the first
Aphrodite.
place Christ was
Okay.
used as a
And
word.
this is what happens. There's a lot of this happens often. People that save their virginity, right, for a long time, what happens is once they get older, like this dude, he saved his virginity and then he decided, you know what? I'm gonna stop believing in Christ because I've read Aristotle's work. So now that I've read that, I've realized I need to go fornicate. So he went and had sex and he had an amazing experience with a woman. Well, a lot of this happens a lot of time when people wait for so long that they become a degenerate sexually at that point because he believes that having sex is the greatest feeling ever known to man. See, I don't share that same sentiment. I can attribute catching a fish to be feeling really wonderful, and I couldn't tell you that is sex better than that or what. So I don't have this same self load like loving thing that to me having an orgasm is the most beautiful and wonderful and highest transcending feeling in the world. That's not how it feels to me. So I understand why it would feel that way for that gentleman as to see like maybe he does have a lot of sex. I don't know. Usually people that talk about having a lot of sex don't have a lot of sex. So he might have trouble getting laid and then this is the problem. This is what he's come up with on this.
Looking into this religion stuff, I found some really fascinating. You guys ever hear of the Epicureans, Gnostics? I'm sure you guys heard of them, right? There's
Yeah,
so
I
many of
Yeah,
brought
these.
what's
It's
up?
brought it.
unbelievable.
Brought it
Yeah.
the Epicureans and the Stoics. They show up all the time.
Yep. So it's the Epicureans. Like I was reading up on them. They is it? I think it's the Epicureans. They believe that to seek pleasure, like to find pleasure, but I was reading up like it's misunderstood. Their achievement is not to have any grief, not to have any pain or any ill feelings, and it's quite interesting. And then the Gnostics, I think my favorite ones that I've read so far are the Gnostics. They have some really good sayings there. But my point is, there's so many. It's like I'm even surprised, and how they intertwine, how the beliefs intertwine from one to the other, sometimes from century to century, and they get changed and added. And Yeah, it's way more to it than meets the eye.
I mean, it's just wild because you also have all the comparisons between all the religious stories, like the flood myth, the dying and rising God. Uh, there's a couple other comparisons, but like all these different ones.
Yeah, like there's a Jesus story in the Sumerian text.
Kind of, yeah. Well, is it Ishtar, the goddess, or Ishtar? But the goddess, she goes down to hell, and then after 3 days, she is raised up again. Like each layer of hell, she has to take off a different layer of clothing. And then by the time when she comes back up, she gets each one back.
Yeah, and if you look at it, right, it's not bad. Religion is, well, it's used by people like the big term of religion, right? But religion, people, how it started is just basically we want to know what happens to us after we die. It's basically all it is, and where we come from. The lack of that knowledge, the lack of us not being able to find that here is what religion is all about. The meta. That's what it is.
Spirituality, the goal is to figure out, the origin of stuff. I have a question to Water Monkey and Essie. Do you think the best way to engage with it is to, you know, read it? Or do you guys think the best way to engage with it is to read refutations against it?
Well, there's no best way, bro. What I realized is religion is one of the greatest separators of mankind.
Yep.
There's no way to engage in religious talk. No possible way, because it is a dogmatic system. So there's no way to discuss dogmas. There's no way to come to mutual understandings. There's nothing but argument, and it shows through the centuries. War. Religion equals war. It's as simple as that.
There's a huge illusion that like everyone can just get along. Like that's not even like no one has ever seen that or proven that anyways in the first place. So to think that the whole world can just get together and kumbaya together, that's an illusion. It doesn't even exist.
I agree. 100%. I agree.
So then that refutes the argument of a religion is separating people.
No, you can see it everywhere. What do you mean? You can read books like
Well, if there's
on
no such thing as kumbaya, if there is no such thing as people being all together in kumbaya, then religion wouldn't be the cause of separating people. That would just be the organization of the different communities coming about.
Oh,
no,
the
that would be
division
the
grows among the religion. You see it, it's divided into multiple sects in Baptist and Presbyterian and Catholic and even I see it right here. There's like a new age Christian kind of thing where you're incorporating other books as well into the Bible and in different ways that is like completely separated from like a Baptist church that would be Christian. Yeah. Division
Yep.
grows among religion.
That wouldn't be New Age, though. That would be going back to first century. So, if anything, you would call that like old age because you would be going back to the roots, right? They just removed some of these books, not that long ago, 300 years ago. So, if you think some god came down or something and told them to remove those books 300 years ago, I'd like to see evidence of that.
No, those books that weren't included in when they were canonized,
Yeah,
that
they
was
were. There
like
was 80
800
books.
AD. It was
There
800
was
AD. Yeah.
No, sir. There was 80 books in the Bible when they came to America.
Yeah, I've not seen that at all. I studied the Bible I mean,
The Catholics still
college,
have them in their Bible.
college level study. Nobody's ever said anything about that.
The Catholics still have them in their Bible.
Are
The
you talking
Catholic Bible.
about the Apocrypha, the
Yeah,
hidden?
the Maccabees. Yeah, those books. Yeah, they're still in the Bible. In the Catholic Bible. I don't know why it was removed, bro.
Choosing your books is very important.
Yeah, it's kind of telling too.
Well, okay, and we're pushing back against that. That is kind of telling. Why would someone be removing information and moving books and whatnot, unless they're trying to push a narrative? I don't
Yeah,
declare myself as a Christian because of that, bro. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate Easter. We're talking about the truth here. We're not talking about religion. We're talking about what is the truth. What is the worldview that best explains where the origin of all mankind came from?
You know what? I think you guys should start your own sect. And I mean that with all due respect. You
It's called
guys should start
messianic.
your own sect.
I told Lion to start a ministry. That was like 6 months ago, a year ago.
I'm not
It's
saying
not,
it in jest. I'm serious.
It
no,
already
it's
exists.
not a, it's not,
Hebrew roots.
no, but it's not even that. I mean, the messianic Jews it's very similar. It's not far off.
Forget
I would
about the
sort of,
Jews, bro. Write your own things, your own route to wisdom, your own walk, right? You can do that.
what word do you use, Torah, for your sect of Christianity?
The congregation I go to is a messianic congregation.
Okay. Like, how would you explain Messianic Christianity? Really quickly.
It's a Judaism that accepts the Messiah.
Okay. But is it rabbis that run it or priests? Christian priests?
They worship Lionel Messi.
Can be either.